Well, we've got ourselves a genuine thunderstorm blowing in. And Walter is standing in the rain like an idiot. Time to go back on the porch. Thought I could see the clouds coming that way, but the rain is here already. It's a rainy night in Georgia. But it ain't night. It's the middle of the afternoon. It almost looks nighttime. Here's the wind. It's blowing right on in here. When I was in the Navy, we were riding out a hurricane at sea. It's like in the middle of the night. It was dark. The waves in the hurricane we were in were, oh, they were high as these trees around here in places. They were big waves. Water was washing over the deck of the ship. I got my little Polaroid camera. Told my buddy we opened the hatch so I could go out on amidships. I'm gonna go out here and stand in the middle of this hurricane and you take my picture. It didn't turn out too well in the dark with my Polaroid, but we sure gave it a whirl. Got out there on deck like an idiot, dang near getting washed overboard just so I could take my picture in the middle of a hurricane. Didn't take me long to decide to go back down below deck. Now, the ship I was on at that time was a wooden-hulled minesweeper. And it's literally rocking back and forth like 30, 40 degrees. I don't remember the exact degree. They had an inclinometer on the bridge that would tell you what degree of roll your ship just took. You could be sitting on the mess decks. We had these metal stainless steel tables with food trays, you know, the kind of square ones with sections for different kinds of food. Set that thing on the table and you go to take a bite and your tray starts sliding down the table. The way we remedied that situation was take a slice of bread, put it on the table and squish the tray down on the bread. That would hold it like a little suction cup, keep it from sliding away. Didn't often have an appetite when it was rolling like that if you were getting seasick, but pretty soon, old salty, those of us who were a little on the salty side got used to that kind of stuff, and after a week or two of rolling around, it's like ordinary everyday life. You don't think much about it. But there was always just one or two guys that would lose his lunch just as easy as all get out. I remember this Lieutenant J.G. was easy to get seasick, and we found out about it. Well, we had to aggravate him. We'd get around him with a big old cigar and light it up and blow that smoke in his direction. One of the guys I remember was standing out there eating a big old greasy pork chop and talking to him about the weather. He had to go somewhere and lose his lunch. You had to be careful where you went along the rail of the ship in a storm, because somebody upwind from you might be losing his lunch. If you're downwind, you might get a shower of puke. But there was times even when I got seasick. After we would come into port in Guantanamo Bay or San Juan, Puerto Rico, or somewhere like that, and you're so used to, I'm demonstrating now, rocking back and forth, when you're walking down the aisle, the different areas on the ship, you're used to walking like this. So when you got in port, and the ship wasn't rocking, your inner balance was all screwed up, and you still wanted to walk like this. It felt like you were moving. You'd get off the ship and stand on the pier, and the ship is still moving in your mind. Your balance is so screwed up that for a good 2 or 3 days, that's what they call getting your sea legs back. And a lot of you people have ridden on a motorboat or a train or other things that had the same sensation. When you get off, it feels like you're still moving. Well, it really messes with your mind when you've been rocking back and forth like that for a week. I don't know what brought that subject up to mind. Just this rain, I guess. See, the Easter lilies out there are really trying to bloom. The wind don't blow them off the plant. You ever think about if you had your life to live over, some of the things you would do different? They're too numerous to list. A lot of things you would do different. Hindsight is 20/20. Foresight is not. You just got to take your chances on what comes along in life. And you can wish all you want. You'll never get to go back and redo something you either did wrong or could have did better. Mockingbirds are walking around out there in this storm on the ground. Look for worms, I guess. He's up under the tree over there. I guess the rain would make the worms come to the surface. The bird bath is filling up. I didn't fill it up yesterday. And the rain is coming on down. I have worked in the rain, working for the railroad, where it's literally pouring so hard all day long that you got to go work the train. You got no choice. You can't wait to go between showers. So we put on this rain gear. Well, rain gear is okay for an hour or so, but after a while, you get so wet with sweat that you've been just as wet, well, not to even wear the stupid rain gear. I've walked between the tracks for like a mile or two, inspecting the trains in the receiving yard especially. And the gravel and the rocks would be kind of beat out from constant people walking up and down between the tracks. And so when it rained real hard, it was not uncommon. You were walking in 4 or 5 inches of water. Your boots would be just sloshing with rain. I ruined more than one pair of boots getting them too wet in the rain. It's probably why my knees are so wore out today, is walking in miles and miles and miles of walking beside the trains, inspecting them. But it ain't like walking down the beach or walking down a sidewalk. You're walking on gravel, big pieces of rock about yay big around. It strengthens your ankles, but you wear your knees out walking in that stuff. It was very rare that you weren't stumbling when you were walking in that stuff. Squatting down to a couple air hoses, leaning over to open the angle cocks on the other side of the train, climbing over the trains, climbing over the couplers, climbing up on sill steps, climbing up on brake steps, walking them train tracks for 8 solid hours, checking trains. Sure wore out my knees. They're in bad shape today. I've known several of the old carmen that went and got them artificial knees put in. And I'm sure if I went to the doctor and asked, they would put some in me. But as long as I'm able to walk, I gotta keep my wore out old knees. I just can't see putting artificial parts in me until I absolutely have to. Sometimes my knees get all swelled up and stiff and hurt even worse. But I'm dealing with it. Sometimes I have to put my knee braces on. I've noticed when I get down on the ground out there, it's really hard to get back up. And if you bend your knees for more than a minute or two, they start stiffening up, and it's very uncomfortable to get down like that. Well, it's getting on in the afternoon, and the rain is coming steady. Traffic is flowing by at a pretty heavy rate. I guess people are going home a little early today. That hydrangea I planted out there earlier in the year is coming up pink, whereas this one over here by the house is blue. I'll have to get a close-up of them Easter lilies before they actually open up. Can't go out there now in the rain. I cut this grass just 3 days ago. You wouldn't know it to look at the grass growing out here, growing like a weed. Oh, I'd be cutting it again in a day or so. I say 3 days, it might have been 4 days. Sun's trying to peek out again, so I'm thinking the storm might be blowing on over. So wherever you are today, I hope you're staying dry. I do appreciate you tuning in to my little vlog. I didn't have a whole lot to say today. We went out for lunch and got us a burger to go and brought it home. The Griffin Dog House down here in Griffin makes some outstanding cheesesteak and burgers. Double burgers, better than any fast food hamburger. And every once in a while we get the urge, we'll go down there and buy one of his burgers. You can't ask for a better hamburger unless you're at home making it yourself. You notice my little cedar trees out here. Let's talk about them just a minute. This one right here by the house is getting on pretty huge. There's one down there past the silver maple. There's 2 or 3 over there. Every one of them cedar trees, I went out in the woods and dug them up when they were about 1 feet high. Brought them home and planted them. And it's amazing how fast a cedar tree will grow when you plant it in your yard. My crepe myrtle's really big out there. I'm wondering if I should trim it back. A lot of people prune them back. It does pretty good until it gets all heavy with blooms, and then them blooms will be leaning all over, about to break the limbs. I've pruned it several times down low, but I haven't pruned the top. I haven't topped it. I guess a crepe myrtle tree would get like a full-size tree if you let it. Look at that, the rain has just about quit. Let's complete this vlog with a look at my Easter lilies. And then I'll close the video. It's still raining, but I'm going to walk out here anyway. Somewhere along here in the video, I'll include a picture of what these Easter lilies looked like when we bought them in a pot last year. Oh yeah, colors coming into them. They're going to open within a day or two. Get a close-up. Anyway, after they quit blooming last year, I took them out of the pot, planted them out here in the ground. When the wintertime came along, they died on back, but they come right back in the spring. We'll get another picture of them in a few days when they open up and see if they're the same color they were last year. I hear a siren coming down the highway. I am hard of hearing, but for some reason I can still pick up the sound of a siren real quick. Sounds like he's going to the hospital. I think you're supposed to prune these blooms off of these hydrangeas after they start looking kind of dead. Guess I need to go in there and do some Googling and read how to prune these boogerberries. I hear dogs barking from that siren. Unless it's coyotes down there. Take a look at these roses that are about to fall off. I don't remember what kind they are. I got them tied up to a piece of a golf club I had sawed the head off of. A good many of my viewers are big on gardening. And I'm not. I just do the best I can, planting a few things around. Some people have some really nice flower patches. Now, this rose died back. And I thought it was permanently gone, but it's coming up out of the ground. So I put something there where I don't mow it down with a mower. Another project to do pretty soon is later in the year is prune them azalea bushes back. I want to take my magnet out to the back where I was pulling up them fence posts. I dropped a couple of them horseshoe nails and I don't want to run over them with my lawnmower. I was going to do it today and we went to town. But anyhow, the next day or two we'll go out there and play with my magnet and see if we can pick up that nail. Maybe pull up a couple more fence posts. The storm has cleared up. Sky's turning blue again, but I still hear thunder rumbling around there. I'm going to end this video today with a short clip of what the weather looked like 20 minutes after this storm blew over. Thanks for listening to me ramble today. This is Pwalpar saying y'all have a good day.